And welcome back to the podcast, Stories from the River. I'm your host, Charlie Maloof, President and CEO of Broad River Retail. Glad to have you back listening or watching wherever you're checking out your podcast today. So today I want to get into a topic called the rhythm of retail. More specifically, maybe daily disciplines and fiscal calendars. I'm going to talk about, I don't know how exciting calendars are, but we'll talk about how we think about it. And we actually have a passion for this.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
So back, again, a lot of these things changed in 2015 when we kind of just transitioned into a new role in the business. But we said, you know what, let's have daily disciplines to think about what our focus and intention is every single day of the week. Because, at retail, there's just certain rhythms that they're the same every single week. And so, for instance, we said in marketing used to always count their weeks as Tuesday through Monday. And oh, by the way, so did delivery, because we would deliver like Tuesday through Saturday, and then you try to make sure all your billings were completed. But not every department did that. Some we were still financially on a calendar basis, the 1st through the 30th of the month, for instance. And so we said, let's get this thing aligned. And then, by the way, retail was still on a calendar basis too. This is going back several years ago. So we said, okay, let's just start with every day of the week. Let's go through our daily disciplines. On Tuesday, we're going to tell the truth of how we did the previous week. So we're just going to simply call it Truth Tuesday. And we came up with these in mid-2015. All right, then Wednesday, let's try to get the week started again. And by the way, on Truth Tuesday, you can assess your previous week or your previous month, and you can determine kind of what worked, what didn't work, what do you need to change. So you're going to tell the truth, and then it's going to kind of give you your game plan for the up next week. And Wednesday, you've got your game plan. Everyone talks about the midweek, get over the hump, and we want to kind of start fast. And a lot of times Wednesdays might be the day off for our general managers, but we want to make sure that we can still win it with our sales managers in tow. And so we called it Win Wednesday. Very alliterative, and we just keep it going. And then we're really big on gratitude. And so we said on Thursday, let's make sure that we have the right perspective and what are we grateful for? So we just called it Thankful Thursday. Let's recognize our people. Let's thank our people for what they're doing. Let's give them some momentum, some boost. Let's thank our customers or our guests who are coming into our stores. So we just called it Thankful Thursday. It's a day to celebrate gratitude and thankfulness. And then Friday, as a retailer whose business is primarily done on the weekends, we said, hey, we got to get focused and get ready for the upcoming Saturday and Sunday, the big week ahead. And so we called it Focus Friday. Let's really dial in. And then we said on Saturday, hey, that's game day. We got to put our best foot forward. We got to have full staff, everyone ready to go, that we're going to have the most traffic on this day. And let's keep the email correspondence and the administrative task at a minimum. Let's make sure we're in position to impact the sales for that day. And to remind ourselves of this perspective, we called it Showtime Saturday. It's Showtime Saturday. This is the biggest day. Let's put the emphasis on it. And then on Sundays, it's a super impactful day for us at retail, for our stores. But it's really only like 6 hours that we're open. And just kind of to borrow from the Super Bowl, but not to be so specific, we call it Super Sunday. Hey, it's Super Sunday. Again, you can have an action-packed day on just 6 hours of work. And then to close out the week, to make sure that you're calling your guests back who you may have worked with on the weekends, to close out all your billing administrative staff or your end-of-month task, end-of-quarter task, we call it Move It Monday. Let's make sure, and by the way, a lot of times your national holidays, which are also really big days of the week, like your Memorial Day or Labor Day that we just celebrated, or President's Day, guess what day they're always on? They're on Monday, formerly Columbus Day. So Move It Monday became like that day, or MLK Jr. Day, right? There's a lot of national holidays or days off that are Mondays that are also big at retail or continuation of the weekend. So whether it's closing out a week or getting ready for one of your biggest days of the year, we call it Move It Monday. So those are our 7 daily disciplines for each week. They've been in place for over 8 years. And then we had all this disparate type of calendaring and different schedules that folks were on, and wanted to really bring alignment to that, even down to our financial results. So we shifted from a calendar basis for our financial results from like January 1st to December 31st to a fiscal calendar. So from a calendar, which is every month, to a fiscal calendar. And this is where you're going like 13 weeks, 13 weeks, 13 weeks, 13 weeks. So you break down a year by 4 quarters. Okay. So you got 13 weeks per quarter. That gives you 364 days in a year. I realize there's 365. Every 5 or 6 years, you're going to have a 53rd week. And this usually comes in December. So we're still going to be January through December, but we're just going to break it down into 4 quarters. And so then what did we do? We said, okay, you've got to have a 5-week month in every quarter. Okay. So our 5-week months are March, because it was, it was the biggest month of the first quarter, 31 days. And it's also kind of seasonally, so it's a good month for us at retail. So that became our 5-week month at retail. May, because you got Memorial Day in there. And so May, and then September, because you got Labor Day in there. It's a really big month for us. And then November, which is the biggest month of the year for us in home furnishings retail. So November, because you got Black Friday, you got Veterans Day, you got some holidays in there, and it's a really peak month for us. So we go 4, 4, 5. 4 is January, 4 is February, 5-week month is March. Then 4, 5, 4. April is 4, historically a little bit softer month, a tweener month. May is 5 weeks, big month for us. June is 4. And then we go 4, 4, 5 again. So that's July and August. Those are softer weeks, 4-week months. And then we go 5 weeks, September. And then we go 4, 5, 4, October 4, November 5, December 4. Unless it's a 50, every 5 or 6 years, you get that 53rd week, that extra bonus week. That's with a fiscal calendar, 13 weeks per quarter. That's how we set it up. Now, why did I walk you through what the 5-week months for us are? We call these Moneyball months at Broad River Retail. There are 5-week months. And so we said, how can we really incentivize the Moneyball months? Because our belief is if we win the Moneyball months, we win the year. If you don't win the Moneyball months, it's going to be a really hard to swim upstream and win the year. It's going to be a really hard path to winning the year if you don't win the Moneyball months. Just like if you're doing a 3-point contest in the NBA, you've got the orange balls and then you get the Moneyball. They're worth more. They're worth more. So we said, let's say, okay, if on average every month was worth 100%, let's make the 4-week months worth a little bit less, and then let's amplify or juice up the Moneyball months. That'll really, and this is like on our bonuses and that sort of thing. So we call our 4-week months, our 8 4-week months, we call them shoulder months, and those pay out at 90% of the earned bonus. So if the baseline is 100%, and they're all going to end up to equate to 1,200 or average 100, the shoulder months are 90%, and then it allows us to take the Moneyball months 33% more than a shoulder month. And so those are 120%. So you can see where we've got a big incentive on 4 months out of the year to really juice our bonuses, to put the focus on those months, to amplify our bonus payouts, and to really say, hey, make sure, like if you're taking your time off or your vacation, which is important, you want to do it maybe on a shoulder month, not in a Moneyball month. Make sure that we're dialed in, locked in on our staffing and on our where we're really focused, because we're gonna juice all the bonuses for our retail performance team members and leaders, our memory makers, our HFCs, our experts, our general managers, our multi-site leaders on those Moneyball months. Because if we win the Moneyball months, we win the year. If we don't, it's going to be harder to win the year. So those 20 weeks are so important to us. And also we're just recognizing that's when you're going to work harder. You're going to put more time in. You're going to see more customers. It aligns to our traffic patterns when we really see our traffic surges. So we really try to align all of our incentives in the year around the months that are peak and perform more for us. Now, what else did we have to do? We got everyone on a Tuesday through Monday calendar. Every single department. So not just supply chain, not just home delivery, not just retail or marketing, but also merchandising, also finance, also IT and BI, and definitely operations. So now our whole calendar is on a Tuesday through Monday schedule. And so every fiscal week, every fiscal month, every fiscal quarter, and every fiscal year ends on a Monday. That aligns beautifully and synchronizes so well for the rhythm of retail. So now when someone says, well, how are you doing in August? Well, I don't have to think about, well, are there 5 Saturdays in August or 4 Saturdays in August? Or, how many did I have in August last year? And when did Labor Day fall? And when did it not fall? Or what events were, or when did the 4th of July fall? I'm going week over week, and so it allows us to have easier, smoother comps, easier understanding of how we need to staff. It just aligns the entire organization. And now we don't have disparate systems where marketing counts it one way, retail counts it another way, finance counts it another way, or we have to keep up with, well, when was Thanksgiving last year, or when was President's Day last year? It's all aligned and synchronized on our calendar. So I think it's so important. So we did this a few years ago to align all departments and our financials. And one of the things that's just an extra plus, you really get refined on running a 52-week year. But like I said, every 5 or 6 years, you get that bonus 53rd week, which is pretty nice. We still call December a shoulder month for us, but it's a little bit easier to hit your annual goals, your annual jackpots, that comes around once every 5 or 6 years when you have that 53rd week. So that's how we set up the year. That's what we like to call the rhythm of retail, where we go from daily disciplines to a weekly cadence that's completely aligned from every single department, even from hourly pay and monthly bonuses and how our financials are set up. And so everyone knows, hey, if we're trying to close out a quarter or a month strong, there's a natural incentive to do so based off how we've set up the Moneyball months, which months matter the most, which ones pay out the most. And it's all symmetrical from quarter to quarter to quarter, the way we've tried to set it up. And also it really says, hey, when are the best times to take time off? It might be a June or a December or in August, versus a May or a September or a November, for instance. So we just try to really align to when we need to be in peak for retail and how our weeks are set up from Truth Tuesday to hey, keep off the administrative tasks, stay in position to impact on Showtime Saturday or Super Sunday. And then, hey, if it's a national holiday, move it Monday. So that's how we set it up, the great game of business at Broad River Retail, the Broad River Way. Thanks so much for listening and joining. Hope you like this little nugget here from Stories from the River on the rhythm of retail. Hey, check us out wherever you get your podcast content, on Google, Amazon, Spotify, or Apple, or check us out on YouTube. We got a great links to bring the video content to you because we know a lot of people love YouTube. And do us a favor, mash that like button or comment or send us a note. Tell us what kind of content you'd like to see or what we can do better. And thanks so much for joining or subscribing and engaging with us here at Broad River Retail. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.